Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Indoor Carnivores. Today I figured I'd do a little update video regarding my Nepenthes collection. I've added another tank to my collection because I brought in some of the plants I was growing outdoors inside, just because it's getting cooler with the fall and winter weather and shorter day periods. So I figured I'd go ahead and bring them inside. Now, not much has really changed other than quite a bit of growth and some repottings, as well as potting my Ventrata cuttings because they've all rooted. So yeah, this right here is sort of my, where I grow some of my Highlands. I only have like 2 Highlands, a Nermis and Jambon. But the rest are pretty much intermediates because they are hybrids and they're pretty vigorous at that. So this terrarium here, I can probably try to put the sensor push data somewhere around here. But it gets around currently in the fall, maybe like 75, 77 is the high, and then at night around 60 degrees, sometimes high 50s. It just depends on the night, on how cold it gets. But yeah, I just keep my window open and it just drops the temperature naturally. So I'll go ahead and start with the small plants up front. A few have had some leaf jumps and whatnot. So starting with my Nermis here, these are lowers of the Nermis, so not that infamous trap it's known for, but that's the reason I got it, just to watch it grow. It's gonna take years, but that'll be fun. So it came with some live sphagnum moss, and that sphagnum moss is growing like crazy. It's spreading to the Jambon pot, which I don't mind, it looks pretty neat. This Nermis put off this picture pretty recently. I'm hoping that this tendril back here turns into one, but we don't, we'll see. But cooler temperatures, hopefully it helps. With the Jambon here, one of my favorite Nepenthes, it's been doing really well. It's actually had a leaf jump. Let's see if you can see. This was like its smallest leaf, and then leaf jump, leaf jump. So it's been really good. Its pictures back here, that one there, putting off one here, that tendril right there, and hopefully this one too. And it's pictured pretty consistently, honestly. Usually when it puts one out, it drops another. Not sure why that is. Probably has to do with some fertilization, which I'll get into later. But yeah, and right here is my Spatulata cross Jacquelinia. This also had a leaf jump from here to here to here to here. So that is doing really good. Also looks like it might have a pitcher jump because the tendril definitely got longer on that one. But looking forward to this when it's more mature. Right here is my VGI, Loei, Burbigii, Edwardsiana. Nothing too crazy. I don't expect these pictures to look great up until it's probably 3 years old or so. But yeah, you can see like a deep red with the white peristome with some striping in it. But yeah, over here I have my Burbigii cross Campanulata. It's just that yellow one there. Pretty common cross, but I figured I'd pick it up. Right here is my Denziflora cross Arceloides. This one's just kind of more of a stout red pitcher. I'd probably fertilize it now that I think about it. I haven't fertilized them in a bit, but it's holding on to the pitchers pretty well. 1, 2, 3, whereas the Campanulata has 2. Edwardsiana, I think it has 3 as well. So, and I gotta fertilize those. So going back one is my Spectabilis Savior. Now this one I've only had a few months, maybe 2 months, and it ended up flowering, as you can see right there, which you don't want on a cutting this small. I mean, you could let it, but it would just take all the energy away. And I actually had gone on vacation. I came back and it had flowered, so I didn't cut it soon enough. So it hasn't produced any pictures since then, but it still has the ones it came with down there, that little striped one, and one tucked away back there you can't see. Now over here is this black vine, purple vine thing, is my Nepenthes Predator, which is an EP plant of a cross Hamadacross truncata. So it gets pretty big. You'll see the one up front here, and this one. It came with this one and it grew this one since I've had it, and I've been fertilizing them, and so finally bounced back and shooting off some growth there, all the way back there. It's growing very vigorous. I'm hoping this tendril turns into one as well, and some other ones somewhere else. I think it's way back there, but yeah. So yeah, I think that one's probably one of my favorites, along with the Jambon. I just really love the color of it. I think these are the uppers because it is a cutting, but the lowers are more of a dark red, and they look the exact same, but just dark red. Now jumping over one, this one I got off eBay. It's another EP plant. Nothing too crazy. It's a Lowii VGI cross Berbigii cross VGI K. It actually produced, so when I got it, I could tell it wasn't in really good soil or medium, and not under the best light. So I repotted it, gave it some good light, and shot off a picture, which is this one right here. Really nice, tough peristome, tough body overall, and then fertilized that, and then it ended up skipping a picture on this one, and then it threw this one off here, which is growing right now. So that tendril is really thick. So it's thicker than I think the last one it put off. So hopefully it's a nice picture jump as well. Now jumping over to this side, I have this Ventrata cutting. It's a Ventrata, nothing too special, obviously. My first time doing cuttings though, so it's nice to see that it rooted and is taking off. Hopefully it shoots off a picture soon. Now back here, I have my Berkeyii Cross Hamada. So it definitely resembles a Hamada in that it has the dark rigid peristome, but not as toothy, but still really nice. And it's very vigorous. It holds onto its pitchers for such a long time. You can see I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think there's like a 6, 7. Splitting this one off, 8, 9. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And no, I'm looking at it. I don't know where this tendril's going, and I probably figure that out. Oh, there it is. Okay. But yeah, I really love that cross. So the reason I repotted it was because it was using up a lot of water. I had to water it so often. I was like, definitely root bound. So it was. I repotted it into this 6-inch pot. And anyways, it had a basil coming out too, which is another reason I decided to repot it. So I'm looking forward to seeing those lowers. That'll be pretty nice. Now going in the back row, I have my Nepenthes Gaia, one of my first ones I got just because it's a very vigorous one. I recommend this for anyone who's trying to get into growing Nepenthes. It's very easy and forgiving, really nice as well. And mine has a basil going right there too. It actually has a couple. There's a baby one down there too. You can't really see it, but there it is. And I had a picture jump here, so it's very nice. Nothing too special though. Now back here is one of my other Ventrata cuttings. This one seems like it will picture before any other the cuttings do. Back here, this big plant is my Nepenthes Peter D'Amato, which I think is a cross between Lowii and Ventricosa. I repotted that. I think you guys saw that in the last video. I'm not too sure though. It kind of, you can see it was gonna put the picture off there, then I repotted it and it stopped. So I don't expect that one to come back, but I'm hoping within the next month or so, I'll start seeing some new pictures. I kind of have hope with this leaf here, but we'll see. Now going over one, the next plant is neither of these two that you see here. It's actually this plant all the way right here. This is my Lowii Cross Campanulata. It currently has 2 pictures out right now, and I'll explain why in a second. But one of my favorite parts about this one, if I don't break the jump on there, is the amount of exudate here, which is the white stuff on the lid of the pitcher, and it gets it from the Lowii parent of this cross, because Lowii makes that exudate, which is used as like a laxative for the shrews. So that's where that comes from. And then the other one is tucked away way back there. If you want to zoom in on it, right there. Now it only has 2 right now, because when I was repotting it, I broke the growing tendril off. And so yeah, it kind of skipped out on a picture there, but shot off this leaf here with this tendril, so I have hope for that. It's looking pretty promising actually. Now I probably close the front up. So going back one more, tucked behind here is my Nepenthes I May Be, which comes from Exotica Plants. And you can see it right there. That was one of the first ones it put off in my care. Has another one down here, and then I think another one, yeah, way down there. Doing really good. I think it's putting one off down here. Just growing right there. If I can focus on it. Yeah, there you go, right there. Really love that plant. Probably one of my favorites. It's another toilet bowl species. So this one only produces uppers, but still really nice. Now this one is also another one of my favorites. I have a lot of favorites, but this one is my Spectabularus cross Lowii cross Ventricosa. I believe this is an EP plant as well. But yeah, this thing, for the size of the plant and the size of the pitchers, this thing is massive. This is the first time I've had two pitchers on at once. Maybe if I'm lucky, it's gonna have 3 right here. But yeah, so I've been fertilizing it, and it's definitely helped get some pitchers off. Now, moving over one, this is, I think, another EP plant. This is a Ventricosa cross Sibianensis cross Conculata. And these pitchers get pretty big if you give it the right conditions. And it's just now started to put off more than one pitcher at a time. So right here is the picture of it, and it's not too big, but it's only ever given off one, and once it dies, it shoots off another. And so I started fertilizing it a bit more often than I used to, and I realized it started putting off a lot more tendrils, like longer tendrils. You can see it here, here, here. Now, out of all those tendrils, this one and one back here by the IMA are the ones that decided to kind of start forming a pitcher. So I'm really hoping that I will start seeing a pitcher pop off or grow soon there. It looks like it's going to, and so I have my hopes up for that, but that would be really nice to see. Now, another one, I think my last plant in this tank here is my Nepenthes tivii Red Queen, which is a cross between Maxima and VGI. Tucked away back here, I think this Homonocross truncata is growing on it. Can't see it too well, but that's it right there. That is the massive pitcher it just gave off recently. But one of the most recent ones it gave off is right there, tucked away. And then its first one it put off in my care just died after it put off this big one. And I gotta trim that soon, but I don't care too much. Now, that is it for this tank. I can't really get a good picture of that one, but it doesn't matter. So jumping over, this is where I keep some of my intermediate ones. They're more intermediate than anything, so they can tolerate a warmer temperature. And actually right here's my window, so they get some direct sunlight in the morning, but that's about it. And then I supplement it with these 18-watt grow lights. So they're not powerful like my other ones I have. Other ones I think are 24 watts or 22 watts. These ones are 18, simply because they are supplementing the daylight rather than providing it with light. So back here, these are the back 3 ones are ones I brought in from outdoors. The first one back here is my Nepenthes. Oh man, what is it? Loei cross Uchi cross Tivii cross Platykyla, and that's also an EP plant. One of the most gorgeous pictures I've ever seen. This one puts off. However, when it was outside, it had a massive vine, and this was actually a basil. So I had to cut the vine, and I decided to do some cutting. So these cuttings are not even a month old, I think, maybe 3 weeks. So they still got months to go before I even see any growth or start crossing my fingers, you know. But if they do take off, that'll be really awesome, because I love the uppers on this. So it'll be interesting to see the progress. I have done ventrotic cuttings, and this is a pretty vigorous plant. So I do have hope that most, if not all of these strike, but you know, we'll see. So anyways, this one hasn't put off any of the lowers yet from its basal, but since I moved it in here, it's been helping a lot. You can see far back there, if I can zoom in, it's putting off one right there. So I kind of have hope for it, but we'll see. And then going back one is another abstract crossing that I don't care to read. It's like some Thorelii VGI, Thorelii Rafflesiana thing. Thorelii Rafflesiana, Thorelii VGI, that's it. So some weird cross, but here's a picture of it, kind of yellowish. And then back there, that one, yellowish reddish hue to it. And it's a pretty big plant. And ever since I moved it in, I'm trying to find one of its tendrils. Here you go. It's been seemingly wanting to pitcher now more. But yeah, look at this tendril. This one's massive. That's probably a good 8 inches there. Hard to say though. But farther back, I have my, what is this one? Rafflesiana cross Shrewsmatiensis. And that is this candy cane striped looking one here that you guys see. And that one there, which, yeah. I've had struggles with this one. Oops. Kind of broke a leaf off back here, and it put this one out, but I broke the tendril off, and so yeah, I don't really have anything new coming out pretty soon here, so that's kind of disappointing, but whatever. Probably in 2 months or so I'll see something. Now back here is more ventronic cuttings that I just stuck in a pot because I didn't have room, and they've all rooted, but I just don't have room for them. So now up one is another Nepenthes Ime from Exotica Plants. This one, I found to be pretty vigorous and can grow in intermediate conditions. So I tossed it in here just to kind of experiment. So it has 2 pitchers. Hopefully that one turns into one right there on that tendril, but we'll see. Now jumping over one, this one I got from Carnivoro on their Instagram live stream auction thing. And so this one is a Rocco Baciana Cross Vicii M. So it's very nice, and it keeps out white pitcher. But yeah, so it's the only one it has on it right now. It's very nice. I got it for a steal because on their website they had it listed for a few $100, which I think in my opinion is kind of ridiculous, but I still bought it for $200, so I guess you could call me ridiculous too. But they had it for $600, and I saw that they're auctioning it for $200, so I kind of couldn't pass it up because it's such a nice plant, especially once it gets bigger. I think it gets squat, and that nice white peristome is really nice. So I just had to pick it up. I look forward to it, and it seems to kind of recovered well. I feel like this one's pitchering. It might turn into a pitcher, so I'll have to do an update if it does. Now, I had also previously repotted my Nepenthes Fancy Fish, which is, I don't know the cross, and it's from Leilani. But it put off this nice pitcher here with this nice flared peristome, deep red, very nice. And I mean, it's just having crazy leaf jumps, as you can tell, and then nice pitcher jumps. So I'm looking forward to this one as well. And then the last one in my collection here is the Nepenthes Sanguinea. It's an orange Sanguinea, nothing really special. I mean, they still look really cool, but I don't have too much interest in them. They're just like a Ventrata, really resilient and robust. And it's just kind of outgrowing its pot, so I just tossed it in here. But yeah, so that's pretty much does it for all of my collection. Now, when I say I fertilize some of my plants, what I mean is I get a little Osmocote pellet, and I'll have a link for them. I think I have a link for them in my last video. But basically, you take one, there's a little pellet, and depending on the size of the pitcher, if it's a big pitcher like this one, you just get a full-size pellet, toss it in, and fill it up with some distilled water to help it not burn the pitcher, because it's such a dense amount of nitrogen that sometimes it burns the pitcher and kills it off. So just dilute it with some distilled water, and you should be good. And I do it like once every 3 weeks into every pitcher on the plant, and I've been noticing it's been putting off a lot more pitchers on all the plants, and humidity helps with keeping pitchers but doesn't help with producing them. So that's what I've experienced, at least. But yeah, so if you guys have enjoyed, please feel free to subscribe to me and like the video, comment any suggestions or ideas that you want to see. My next video, I'm kind of leaning towards making this channel more of an educational channel, explaining, fertilization techniques, plants to grow on a windowsill, plants to grow in a terrarium, plants you can grow in a house, plants you can't grow, etc. Just because I feel like at this point, I kind of have such a vast understanding of it all. I mean, I've been growing a lot of the outdoor carnivorous plants for, 8 years now. So I'm not inexperienced when it comes to the carnivorous plants. I've been growing Nepenthes for maybe 3 years, but I feel like I've gained quite a bit of knowledge since then. But regardless, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Please feel free to like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.